Hey, Cody, over to your right. Congratulations. First of all, how weird is it for you to be here and there was a fight in Perth the other day?
Oh yeah, it's actually funny because when I first came to the US, they did the first show in Perth, the one that Israel actually debuted on, and I missed that one too because I was over here at the time. So this is the second time it happened now. However, yeah, the last one that was before this one I actually got to go to, so that was wicked. So it does feel a bit weird, but yeah, I'm over here doing business anyway. So I think this is getting a contract is, you know, better and more fulfilling than just going to the event. Now I'm part of the event. So yeah, it's amazing.
What were you doing? You said you were in the United States last time. What were you doing when the first one was there?
I came over here 2017 for the first time. It was the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu World Championships. I was a blue belt at the time. Came over, competed, lost in the quarterfinals, and then just hung around for like 3 months, went to a boxing gym, went to a couple MMA gyms, checked it out. And then after losing in the Worlds, I came back to Perth and I was like, right, well, I want to do MMA now. And the cage actually came back. It was banned for a long time in Perth, MMA in the cage. So that came back. And then, yeah, I went to a show. It was a Hex show. I went there, watched that, and then I was like, man, I think I can beat all these guys. So, and I was big fans of these guys, but the guys my way, obviously, I thought I can beat these guys. So then I wanted to finally take up MMA like I'd always planned to do my whole life. So, yeah.
In one of your interviews with Laura, you said your coach was calling out the combinations and everything. But I wonder, you know, how much of that was instinct, because your coach is calling out there's that split-second delay between the time you hear him and the time you do it, and the opening isn't there anymore, right? Had that been a move that you had drilled over and over? Because it seemed like the left hook was, you know, as soon as he moved his hand, boom, you got that left hook in there.
Yeah, just that's a combination that we call out on the pads all the time. Not going to give away like what we say, because then probably my next opponent, when my coach calls it out, they're going to know what it is. So we'll keep that one like, yeah, but they'll probably hear it anyway. It's not rocket science. They can figure it out. But I work that combination all the time. Like when we hit pads, I'm throwing 20 punch combos all the time. So, and putting like punches in bunches, that's what I like to do. So yeah, combination punching, that's my style. And yeah, I was just lucky enough that, you know, I heard the call and I said, oh yeah, we'll see if this lands. Boop. And then I was like, oh shit, my opponent's down. And I was like, oh, just like that. And then, yeah, it was just blown away. Shocked myself every time. So
because this is something you've wanted so badly and you've been working for such a long time, when you drop them, is there, you know, do you have to resist the urge to get too excited and, you know, just stay within yourself and do your job, as opposed to, oh my God, now I'm almost there, right? And can you talk us through sort of how you went through the finish? You went through, you know, you seem like pretty methodical as you did the ground and pound and then transition to the choke.
Yeah, I would have liked to just ground and pound him unconscious, to be honest, but I kept hitting him and then he wasn't going unconscious. I was like, I'm going to have to choke him now. Yeah, that was just the thought process behind that. I definitely got excited when I dropped him. It's just, I guess, you know, like we practice it in the gym all the time. Obviously, I don't drop my training partners then run in like that, you know, but yeah, it's just killer instinct, I guess, you know. It's as soon as you smell the blood, you go. So, and I've always had that. And yeah, I think my coach actually said to me this morning, like, you know, a samurai, they don't wake up and then think, oh, am I a samurai or am I not? If you're a samurai, you know you're a samurai, and I really am, and I'm there to just kill or be killed 24/7. So that's
you and Yuri Prohaska, congratulations.
So that's a big compliment.
Last question for me. You know, you made the comment you wanted to knock him unconscious, and you know, you hear Dana talk a lot of time, show us what you have and everything. Does that play, you know, when you come here and you make that long flight, 20 hours or whatever it is over here, is that in your head? Because like we heard him last week, and you know, even today when he was talking about Torres Finney, you know, hey, show us what you have and everything. Do you consciously think about that as you're going through fight week and preparing?
Yeah, 100%. That was actually something that my coach talked to me about a lot. He said, hey, you know, don't worry about trying to do anything different. You know, Dana's going to love you regardless, because I don't know if any of you guys have watched any of my previous fights, but I'm exciting. I have a 100% finish rate for a reason, and my only loss went the distance with Steve Erceg, who we all know how fantastic he is, right? And if you watch that fight, that got Fight of the Year, Australian MMA, and it was probably the most high-paced fight you can watch on any regional scene. So in my head, I was thinking, oh, maybe I've got to try and be a little more exciting, but my coach just said to me, like, look, man, don't try and be more exciting. You just go and do you, because you're exciting regardless. So I've never been in a boring fight. And the day I am in a boring fight and I look boring, Dana can cut me straight away. I don't want to be in a boring fight. I'm there, like I said, I want to finish my opponents. I'm not there to try and dance around and hit and run away and win on points. I want to put them out and make sure it's a non-negotiable, that there's no argument as to if I should have won or not, So never leave it in the judge's hands. That's what I like to finish fights, and that's what I'm going to try and continue to do, so.
And just last thing, give your coach credit. What's his name? So
Ramel Luistro, best coach in the world, and thank you for believing in me and actually taking me under your wing, because wouldn't be able to do it without you. So shout out to Luistro Combat Academy in Perth. We're a small, tiny gym, but it's not about the equipment, it's about the quality in there. So that's what matters.
Cody, congrats on the big win in the right here. Congrats on the win in the contract. Dana called this an odd night. I'm sure you saw there. Especially after your fight, 2 decisions, and it's just kind of an odd night overall. But how does it feel to be the standout of this episode?
Well, when he said that, I was like, oh, shit. I was thinking that, maybe he's not excited. Maybe he didn't like my fight. And I was like, but how could he not? So, I'm just grateful. I didn't even know I was the standout. But now that you say it like that, yeah, well, I guess it feels awesome, right?
I know you brought the Steve Erceg fight up. I'm sure a lot of people that searched you up after tonight found out about that. So I guess from your point of view, how does it feel? Obviously, you put on Fight of the Year with him. So how did it feel to kind of see his fast rise to a title run here in the UFC and ultimately now join him in the roster? Yeah,
it just goes to show the Australians are killing it, man. We need more Aussies getting a shot. And this season of the Contender Series has been awesome, because I know it's only week 2, but we've got a lineup of a lot of Australian and New Zealand fighters, and I just feel like, percentage-wise, we have some incredible talent coming out of Australia and New Zealand, and especially Perth. Perth is so small, and you look at the fighters coming out of Perth. I've got a teammate that's actually fighting on here in 2 weeks' time, Quillan Salkild, and he's going to be sitting up here with a contract, no doubt, and we're both from the same gym, and he's phenomenal as well. So Perth is producing some absolute talent right now, and I just feel like, I don't know what's in the water there, but everyone's like a killer coming out of there. So, yeah, it's awesome.
For sure. And last one for me, I saw you mention there that you came for a big jiu-jitsu championship out here. Did you get to catch any grappling this past weekend with the big tournaments going on?
Oh, yeah, I went to the CJI.
What was your thoughts on it?
Yeah. So, big Craig Jones fan. Actually did a seminar with him start of the year over in Bali. Always looking to upskill. So, I love what he's doing for the sport. Jiu-jitsu guys have never been paid properly. And now, it's good to have that healthy competition to raise the bar. And actually, these guys can make a living out of it, So, it's really good, yeah. So, huge fan of what Craig's doing. And, yeah, congrats to all the athletes that won as well.
And what is your take on that healthy competition for the sport between CJI and ADCC?
Oh, I just think it's good. If Craig raised the bar here, hopefully ADCC, when they come back, they start paying the athletes a bit more. And then, you got, jiu-jitsu people won't have to rely on, coaching at, a gym to make a living. They can actually just compete and be competitors and actually get paid for being the best grapplers in the world, like they should, like they deserve, right? So, yeah, I just think it's good for the sport. Yeah.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Cody.
What's up, bro?
You gave Billy a lot of respect coming into the fight. So, now looking back at it, you go out there, first round finish, 100% finish rate. I guess just really, can you encapsulate that, right?
Yeah, so, we were talking during the week, and I was super worried, man. Every opponent I'm shit scared of. I put it simple like that. But it's these like insecurities that make you train so hard and prepare so well. You know, I know like a fight's a fight, anything can happen, and I think Billy's a phenomenal fighter, man. It's just, I don't know. It's just, I shock myself every time. Every time I go and do something like this, I look like, how the fuck did I do that? And it's just like, I guess that's what I train for, right? I've been training since a kid, and when you're in there, you know, it is instincts a lot of the time, and yeah, they all just come out and they all flow, and yeah, I'm just grateful, and a bit of luck helps too, I guess, but yeah, grateful and lucky enough to find his chin and drop him there. So yeah, but I'm sure like Billy will be back. He's a phenomenal fighter, and it just wasn't his night tonight, unfortunately, you know.
You know, this is a very softball, you know, easy question, but like, you know, so young, and you're finally a UFC fighter. Like, how does that feel? You know, it's been a dream for you for so long. You had a tough time finding opponents on the regional scene. You didn't know if you were going to get here in another 2 years. You got here quick. Like, what's it feel to have a UFC contract?
Yeah, I mean, it feels normal, right? Because I've always valued myself as a UFC fighter, and it was actually frustrating fighting on the regional scene for so long without being like signed to a greater promotion, because I always knew that this is my destiny and this is where I need to be, and just let me go do some damage, you know? And finally, I've been given the opportunity to do some damage, and I'm sure you'll see me do a lot more damage, yeah. So I'm super stoked. But yeah, patience, like, you know, everything happens for a reason, I believe. And yeah, when it's your time, it's your time. And I feel like now it's just my time, simple as that. And when it's someone's time, they're hard to stop. And I feel like it's my time.
UFC debut, do you want it to be in Australia? Do you want to travel? A lot of your fights have been in Australia. Like what's a perfect debut look for you?
I mean, yeah, debuting in Perth would be sick. It's the hometown, but I miss that, you know? So anywhere, to be honest, I don't mind. Whatever they have planned for me, I'm just grateful to be here. I'll travel wherever. I want to check out Japan, because I've always wanted to go there for a holiday, you know, snowboarding and stuff. So if they ever do a card in Japan, that would be sick. But nah, Perth definitely. I would like to debut in Perth, but obviously that's not happening anytime soon. So wherever they put me, I'm willing to travel out and fight.
And are you looking to stay active?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. So I will enjoy 1 week here in the US. We're going to go to Orlando, Florida, go on all the rides at the theme park, you know, make up for lost time. As you know, in Perth, we've only got Adventure World. It's like it's pretty bad, like, considering like what you guys have here. So I want to go on some roller coasters and just, yeah, do all the things that I didn't get to do when I was a kid. So I'm just a big kid. So yeah, I'll go do that. And then when I get back to Perth, yeah, back to the grind, and then just stay ready. It's training all year round, pretty much. Stay ready. I don't have any injuries, touch wood, from this fight. So yeah, stay ready and just be ready for whatever comes next. Yeah.
You want to give a shout out to Jasmine?
Oh yeah, big shout out to Jasmine Frank, best manager. Yeah, and she hooked up this opportunity. So thank you. Yeah. Good.
You're a snowboarder? To your right over here, congratulations. How much were you sweating when you were waiting to hear the news?
Man, I was back there about to have a heart attack. I wasn't sweating that bad when you was telling me, when Dana was talking, it was like, but I was like, oh, my heart just sank to my stomach. I was like, oh, crap, I messed up. but it turned out it was pretty good. It feels good.
First of all, did you think after in the fight, just one little thing about the specific incident in the fight, you kicked him low and then the fight restarted? Did he do that on purpose, do you think? Did he kick you in the nuts?
I don't think so, but it was funny, though, because I was like, oh, dang, I guess that's payback. I don't think it was on purpose, though. It happens.
You see, Dana had referenced your athleticism, and I think I said something to somebody at Octagon side about how great you looked athletically, but you were going like 1,000,000 miles an hour. Like, do you feel like when you look back on it that if you had geared it down a little bit that you might have performed better and even, finished that fight earlier?
Absolutely. I'm still learning as I go, and every fight I take, I always learn something new and things that I can do better. So from experiencing that and hearing it from him, I know what I need to work on, just be a little bit more patient, and it'll come to me. And next time the opportunity presents itself, I'm going to take it.
How long have you done MMA? He questions your fight IQ and all that stuff. I mean, have you been doing this a long time, or is it something that, you just got serious about more recently?
Been doing this for 10 years.
10 years?
Mm-hmm.
So do you feel like when he questioned your fight IQ a little bit, was that something that that you?
I mean, IQ can always get better. It was just I haven't really my entire career. I just really haven't been around anybody that was like actually taking the time out to help me until I moved up to Milwaukee and started training at Pure Vita. So I moved up there in December. So it hasn't even been a year yet, and I've definitely came a long way, and this is the first time that I actually made it to just got to sit on the bench and just actually hear my coaches talk to me, so that was the first time for that. So, yeah, I feel like I got a great team, and we're just going to get better from there. I got great teammates, so I feel good.
How frustrating was it then, that journey that you're going around for 7, 8, 9 years where you're strong, you're fast, you got a lot of the ingredients you put into the cake and would be a winner, and yet you're not, making the progress that you want to make? Was it frustrating that you couldn't find the right people, and is there any reason why you couldn't get somebody to say, hey, I need some help here because I got a lot of the, the raw ingredients?
Yes, it was frustrating, because it was times where I was just like, man, I'm wasting my time, but that's nothing but the devil talking. I got to stay strong in those situations, and you got to push through. It's not always going to be good, and it's not always going to be bad, I just really believed that my hard work was going to pay off, and it did, and I'm learning new things every day. Go back, watch film, and see what I need to work on.
Two other questions for me. How difficult is it financially when you're on the regional scene and you're trying to be a UFC fighter? How tough is it to get through life doing that?
Man, I've been broke since I've been doing this, so it was like, honestly, I'm so used to it that not bothered by it. Like, I remember, like, coming up to Milwaukee, like, I was on the Contender series last year. I got fired before the fight. I was getting ready to lose my apartment. I lost my car. I was down bad, man. I moved to Milwaukee. I dropped everything and just moved to Milwaukee. Now I can buy me a bed. I don't got to sleep on the floor no more.
So you've been sleeping on the floor all this time?
Sleeping on the floor.
Unbelievable.
Hey, back feel good sometimes.
That's what Henry Cejudo did. So you got good.
I can buy me a mattress. It feels
Congratulations on that. I guess even more than on the contract. And finally, I guess a two-part question. Being 30 years old, you hear Dana say a lot of times, I'm not looking for 30-year-old contenders. So that had to be on your mind as you were wondering if you were going to get the deal or not. But does that also give you a little bit of desperation as you go into the UFC, knowing now, okay, the window that I have is maybe different than, Cody was just 20-something years old, right? In your case, you're 30, so you have less time. Does that give you more desperation to perform?
No, I don't feel like it, dude. I just feel like age ain't nothing but a number. You can do anything you set your mind to. You work hard, it'll pay off. you know, and you got to believe it. If you don't believe in it, you wasting your own time, you know. So you don't really depend on nobody else, but you got to depend on yourself. If you want it bad enough, then you got to do what you got to do to get where you want to be at in life, you know. So I just feel like it motivates me, like, oh, I gotta be better. I gotta do better, you know. So it just keeps me motivated, honestly.
I'm just curious if you could talk to us a little bit about your opponent. What did you think of him? Was he different than you had expected in there?
It was definitely different than I expected. I wasn't expecting it to go 3 rounds, but I'm kind of glad it did, just to see like how I do, and I was able to actually sit down and listen to my coaches for the first time in my corner. So that was just a great experience. Michael, he's a great dude, tough guy. Wasn't expecting that, you know. Put up a great fight, and just nothing but respect for him, you know. I wanted that arm bar, but it didn't happen. But you know, next time.
You mentioned that you could hear your coaches. I'm sure you could also probably hear his daughter screaming throughout the fight. What did that feel like from the other side? Because we were hearing it. I can't imagine what you were thinking.
Yeah, I remember in the middle of the fight, I heard her. She was like, "Go, Dad." I was like, "Hell no." Nah. So I was like, man, hell no, this is my fight. So it kind of motivated me. I was like, oh yeah, you got fans in the crowd, you got your kids cheering for you. It's all good. I had my coaches there, you know. So yeah, it was kind of cool.
When you thought about this moment, I'm sure you've been thinking about, like you said, you've been training 10 years. You probably have thought about getting signed to the UFC for at least half of that, if not more. Does this moment live up to that, what you dreamed of all those years?
Absolutely. I'm glad it happened the way it did, because I definitely don't feel like I was ready a few years ago. But now definitely feel like I'm ready, and you know, things to improve and work on, and that's with everything you decide to do in life. So I just feel like it was perfect timing. Everything happens for a reason.
And have you thought at all about where you'd like to fight for your first official UFC fight, or an opponent or a date or anything like that?
Don't have any opponent, you know. I definitely like to fight before the holidays, like Thanksgiving or Christmas. So if I can fight before that, that'd be pretty dope. But honestly, I'm just sit back and just be patient and just do what I gotta do till I get that call for a fight. So I just gotta do my homework.
Thank you.
Cortavious, congratulations on the win and the contract. Obviously, we've seen the scenarios already where guys have come on twice or maybe even 3 times at the Contender Series, and some of them have spoken about their mental approach being a bit different the second time, of maybe being the last opportunity to get this contract. So how was your mental approach this time around as you underwent this fight?
From being here last year and being here again, definitely took a lot of nerves away. I felt good. I felt like I belonged here. I feel like it was just perfect timing, you know. Like, I just can't really say no other thing than that, you know. It wasn't my time last year, you know. I was going through a lot, didn't really have the right team. It was crap, but I pushed through, and hey, you got to keep the train going. You can't give up. Don't ever give up.
For sure. Now, I know you didn't mention an opponent, but is running it back with Ramon Tavares on your list at least sometime down the line? I know you didn't really get to show what you wanted to show last year against him, but now that you guys are both in the roster, is that something you want to get back?
I'm going to fight whoever the UFC throws at me. Ramon, he's a pretty good dude. I got nothing but respect for him. He was actually, like, the only person that reached out to me after my last fight. Like, I didn't hear nothing from anyone, like my old team or whatever. If that was a team, man, I ain't hear nothing. He was the only one that reached out and checked up on me, and I will always have respect for him. So he's a good dude.
So is that a guy that, I mean, you would prefer not to fight if that happened, or?
I mean, the boss man say we gotta fight, you know. So I gotta do my job.
Sure. What would you do different? I know, like I said, or you didn't really get to showcase what you wanted to showcase. What would you do different in a fight with him? Because I know it was only a couple seconds.
Just fight smarter, you know, use all my abilities, you know, just take my time, have fun, be patient, you know.
For sure. And obviously, last one for me, the contract now here during an August time, what is your goal to have accomplished by the end of this year?
Trying to catch some bodies. Yeah, I'm trying to catch some bodies and work my way up. It's just getting started now. Competition ain't gonna get no easier. So I just got to go back home and back to the lab.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I just got one yesterday at the weigh-ins, at the face-offs. You guys got face-to-face. I mean, one, did you expect that? What was your thoughts in that moment? And on the flip side, is that the kind of thing that we can expect, that you'll never back down and somebody sticks their head in your face like that?
I ain't never backing down. I was not expecting that. We did the face off. I was like, man, take your glasses off and look me in my eyes like a man. And he snatched them off. I'm like, ooh, yeah, let's go. He did the head, but I ain't gonna lie. I wanted to strangle him, but I was like, nah, I gotta keep it professional. So, no, I don't back down for anything.
Does that the kind of thing fire you up for the fight, or is it done after the moment? Because I know a lot of times the emotions can kind of play into the fight, but does that amp you up for the fight, or you forget it as soon as it's done and it doesn't even factor into the fight?
Yeah, it don't really bother me. I'll be already amped up, and I get a fight. I'll be like, oh, shit, it's time to go. So I was really expecting that, but I just felt like he had a chip on his shoulder, so I was like, well, shit, I can do the same thing.
I know you said the bed's going to be the first purchase. What's the second purchase?
Man, cheesecake.
Cheesecake?
I want some cheesecake.
Congrats on the victory.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Oh, exactly.
Congrats on the win. Amazing performance. Obviously, we know that it was the right choice, and it's not only just a victory because you are here now getting this contract. Got to talk to Dana and everything. But on a personal level, like taking that leap of faith, were you able to reflect that all on it, or are you going to just kind of like be in a different place tomorrow morning like, wow, I really moved to Milwaukee, and it changed my life?
It was hard, because, like, coming off a loss, I lost on TV, and, man, I got cooked. Like, whoa, you should have seen the comments and messages I received. But it was funny. I appreciate everybody that did say the stuff that they said. I'm glad you watched the fight, But, yeah, moving up to Milwaukee, it was hard because I was down bad. I lost everything. I'm like, man, I didn't know what else to do. I was a little hesitant. They'll call me, oh, when you coming up? Oh, I'll come up Tuesday. But don't come. But I finally just, all right, swallowed my pride and like, I gotta take this leap, and I don't regret anything. It was the greatest thing I could have ever done.
That's awesome, man. Who got the first call now that you got this contract? Or have you sat down with your phone yet? And I'm sure it's blowing up. Or maybe it's not as many people as you think that like are keeping eyes on you that got your back. Like you mentioned that the fighter reached out and it was nobody that could have. But now do you see a different kind of love or reaction or support, people coming out for you now that you're here?
I don't really want nobody new. I like my circle. It's not even a circle. It's like a diet. I like the people that's in my corner, and doors open. But I mean, I'm kind of cool where I'm at. I'm kind of cool with the people around me. But I appreciate the love and support, But I'm in a good place, and I'm not gonna let nothing disrupt that.
Gotta love it. Congrats on the win, my man, and the
Thank you.
contract.
Thank you.
Cheesecake.
Сейчас что-то давно говорили то же самое. Готов.
Well, congratulations. How does it feel to be an official UFC fighter?
Поздравляю. Какие чувства быть бойцом UFC?
Спасибо большое. Очень рад, что дали контракт. Давно, долго шел к этому. Очень рад.
Hey, thank you. I am very, very happy. It's been a long time coming. Finally, we're here.
When you thought about this moment, I'm sure you've imagined it for a long time. Does this feel as good as you thought it would or better?
Все эти годы, когда ты представлял ощущение, каково это быть бойцом UFC, потом ты, когда вот сейчас стал бойцом UFC, те ощущения, которые ты представлял, они такие же или ты сейчас другое чувствуешь?
Ну, пока еще не ощутил, я, наверное, это после первого боя уже самой организации, все, когда уже выйду в клетку, почувствую эту всю атмосферу, все, я думаю, тогда будет понятно.
I honestly don't feel anything right now, to be honest, but I'm guessing the excitement and the happiness will come after I get my first victory. Overall, my first fight in the UFC, my UFC debut.
Have you been able to think a little bit about what you'd like that debut to look like? Do you have a location you'd like to fight, a card you'd like to fight on, or an opponent?
А у тебя есть в голове понимание, когда ты хочешь, чтобы этот дебют случился, где, с кем? Вот такие понятия есть у тебя или еще нет?
Вот минут 20 назад мы виделись с Даной Уайтом, я ему предложил хоть на этой неделе, чтобы я подрался, мне без разницы, у меня нету травм, я хоть каждую неделю готов драться, топ-10, топ-5, я готов.
Right after Dana finished his media scrum, he went in the back, and I saw him, and I told him, hey, I am ready to fight this weekend if anybody pulls out. I'm ready to fight September 7 card. Anything, just turn me around as quick as you can. I want to get in there, and I'm not that young. I'm young, but I'm not that young. I want to keep fighting, and I'm ready. I told him I'm ready for top 15, top 10, top 5, whatever you want. I belong in there. I know it. Let's do it.
What did Dana say?
Сирил, Ган, Алмейда, то есть там в топ-10, без разницы вообще, со всеми готов подраться, хоть на этой неделе. Мне не нужна подготовка специально для них, я готов хоть завтра с ними двумя подраться за вечер.
Cyril Gane or Almeida, I'm ready. I don't need to train to fight these guys. I'm being brutally honest with you. I'm ready. And I am even ready to fight both of them same night without a training camp on a week's or day's notice. That's how I'm confident.
Can you ask him what Dana said?
Что, говорит, Данак сказал?
Они посмотрят свободную, посмотрят на ближайших турнирах, когда будет свободное окошко, и постараются как можно быстрее сделать поединок.
He said that it would be too quick to turn him around for this weekend because it's going to be too much work for the matchmakers to find him somebody, but they will try to, make a quick turn around for him and get him in there as soon as possible. And that he loves what he was hearing. He loves this attitude.
I'm just curious, obviously this is your second time here. How did you remain motivated and positive from your first appearance to now? Or what did you learn during that time?
Это был твой второй бой в этом здании. И как ты вообще мотивировал себя? Как ты все эти годы, вот эти 3 года, у тебя откуда мотивация появлялась? Как ты стоял на этой дороге, как ты шел по этой дороге, как ты каждый день тренировался, зная, что впереди там, ничего нету пока, и ты ждал, каково это?
У меня была самая основная цель, так как я думаю, и для любого профессионального бойца, это вершина ММА, подраться в UFC. Я за эти 3 года дрался в организации ПФЛ, ИГЛФС, защиту делал после моего первого боя, когда мне не дали контракт. Цель была одна — делать бои как можно больше, сделать хороший рекорд, да, и попытаться снова подписаться в UFC. Либо Contender, или же, если бы дали бы контракт, выйти на замену, я был всегда готов, всегда держал себя в форме. Мотивация была большая. Сам себе пообещал, когда мне не дали контракт, я думал, мне дадут после технического нокаута. Думал, что тяжеловесов в UFC не так много, и после того, как узнал, что они дали мне контракт, сам себе пообещал любыми способами, да, постараться ворваться в UFC.
I promised myself after the last time I fought here, I really thought, first of all, I really thought I was going to get a contract. There's not many heavyweights in the UFC, not as young as me, and I also got a finish, but there was no contract. So the next plan, the next step was to stay motivated. I promised myself that I will be back here and I will get to the top of the heavyweight MMA in the UFC. And so I went back, I defended my Eagle FC title. Then we went to PFL. I fought the current champ and I beat him. And after that, many things happened. We got back on track. I got this fight. You know, it wasn't easy, but when you have a goal and you keep pushing, there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and that's what I was doing.
And last one, I'm just curious how you think, since you fought Henan over at PFL, what do you think of his matchup with Francis Ngannou? How do you think he'll do?
Ты дрался с текущим чемпионом ПФЛ, у него сейчас намечен бой с Франсис Нгану. Как ты думаешь, как этот бой закончится? Пройдет вообще?
Ну, этот кемп я готовился в American Top Team, и мы тренировались вместе с Ренаном. Я думаю, видя его форму, я думаю, он победит Нгану. Это будет либо во втором, или же, может, первом раунде нокаутом, я думаю, за счет своей быстроты и высотой. Я думаю, Ренан победит нокаутом Нгану.
For this camp, I was getting ready in American Top Team, so we were training with Renan Ferreira the whole time, you know. I honestly think the way this fight is going to go is Renan will beat him. He will beat him primarily because of his speed. He's super fast. And my prediction would be he will knock Ngannou out either in the first or in the second round, not longer than that.
Congrats on the win. Awesome performance. Speaking of knockouts, that one was so close to the end of the round. Were you aware of that and you wanted to just get that finish, or was it just by pure coincidence that you were able to get him out of there with just seconds left in the first?
Ты знаешь, когда этот бой закончился, твой бой, там больше не было времени. Ты на 5-й минуте ровно, там 4:58 ты его уронил, добивал, и на 5-й минуте остановил судья. Ты знал, что, когда 10 секунд, там звук бывает, ты знал, что оставалось 10 секунд, и ты хотел этот бой финишировать любым путем в первом раунде, или это так получилось само собой?
Не, я слышал это гонг, что осталось 10 секунд. Просто я почувствовал, что я попал по нему, дал апперкот, еще дал с локтя. Я почувствовал, что потряс его и постарался, разницы не было, закончится ли же первый раунд или же смогу я выиграть. Просто максимум хотел нанести урона. И если бы раунд закончился, я бы уже, думаю, в начале второго раунда я бы финишировал его.
I heard that the 10-second knock Yes, that and but honestly, it wasn't that. It was just I saw the finish, and whenever I see the finish, I go for it. It just happened to be that it was in the last 5 seconds, but these two are not connected. No.
And last for me, just walk me through that finish, like how you saw that opening to make that reach.
Можешь рассказать про момент, когда ты увидел финиш и что у тебя в голове было и как ты это все сделал?
Ну, у меня был какой геймплан. Мы со своим тренером Кинг Мо ставили такой геймплан, дать ему чуть поработать, чтобы он попытался перевести меня в партер, дать ему, ну, чтобы он выложился, да, по максимуму. Я видел, как он выкладывается. Я сам вначале не особо даже старался как бы бороться, да, сам защищаться, давал ему работать. И уже во втором раунде, в конце первого раунда уже начал больше бить руками, ногами. И вот так, да, получилось.
So me and my coach King Mo, when we were breaking him down after watching some tape, is that we came with the game plan that we're gonna let this guy work in the beginning, give him like a half leg, thinking that he's gonna get a takedown, make him tired. There was no way he was gonna take me down, but I just gave it to him to make him a little bit tired because he gasses out fast. And once he started gassing out, I started working the body, go to the head, go low, and just play with him. And then I clinched. When I clinched him, I saw the finish, and I executed the game plan.
Very nice. Congrats on the win and on the contract. Well done, sir.
Поздравляю.
Спасибо, thank you.
Well, congratulations. How does this moment feel now, knowing you're a UFC fighter?
Thank you. It feels strange. I can't describe it in words. I don't think it's have gotten into my brain yet, but yeah, the feeling I have now is a relief. It just feels good. That's it's what I've been training for, and yeah, now I'm here.
When you thought about this moment, I'm sure you've thought about it for a long time. Does this moment live up to that, or do you feel like it's better, different? How are you feeling in terms of just what you imagine this moment being like?
I haven't imagined it so much, but of course you imagine it should be on a certain way, but the feeling is you can't describe it. What you've been working for all your life has come true, and it takes time to the emotion to sink in. So I probably, when I wake up tomorrow, I can feel what I really feel.
And you've accomplished this goal of yours now. What's the next goal? Because I can imagine you probably have a long list of goals. What's the next immediate goal for you in terms of your career?
The next goal is, of course, my first UFC debut, my first fight. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So we have to see who I'm facing and when it's going to be.
Do you have any thoughts on when you would like that to happen? You know, a card you'd like to fight on, or a person you'd like to fight, or maybe a date?
It doesn't really matter, but of course it would be fun if UFC come to Sweden. I think it's a lot of Swedes that wants it, that UFC can come to Sweden. It's big for us. You know, we have Alexander Gustafsson, is a legend in MMA. So now we starting to get some more Swedes in the UFC. So maybe we can get it back. I don't know. First opponent in my UFC debut, maybe I have Oban Elliott. I think that would be a good fight.
We were joking back here. We were wondering how many times you're asked if you're related to Alexander Gustafsson.
Yeah, I'm getting tired of this. It's so fucking lame. It's a common surname in Sweden. A last name. I think 50% of the Swedes' last name is Gustafsson. So yeah. I don't know what to say about it, but I don't take it the wrong way. Gustafsson is one of the greatest fighters from Sweden in the UFC, so yeah, I don't mind if people think I'm related to him.
Just say you're not related, but you taught him everything he knows.
Yeah, exactly.
What about your opponent? What did you think of him? Was it surprising in there with him, or did you anticipate the fight going the way it did?
Yeah, I was a bit surprised of his strength. I didn't think he was. I did not think he should be so strong. I think he was more kind of that striking opponent. But he had a good defense. Against my wrestling, but I had better condition, better strength, and in the second round I managed to maintain the pace I had and maul him down. Yeah, but a fucking warrior. I really like that guy. I feel for him. I think I know how he feels about losing a UFC contract. I know how I should feel. You put everything into this fight, so many hours, so many months of training, and it didn't go his way. So I feel for him. I really do. He's a great guy, great fighter, good striker. But it was my turn this time.
I'm just wondering, when you were sitting there and listening to Dana start to talk about your fight, were you worried that he was setting up for you not to get a contract, or were you pretty confident you were getting one?
I was not so worried because how I finished the fight. I think that was the you know, haven't I finished the fight like that? Maybe I haven't got the contract, but it was a boring first round from my side. Much wrestling, not so much damage, but in the second round I keep myself going and could deal much more damage and make the fight interesting with the elbows and knees. So I think that the second round was that saved my contract. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What's up, guys?
Hey,
How are
Daniel.
you? Hey, Kev.
I just want to start by asking you about Romeus, because you went to Finney and you said you only took one fight and you didn't do it. Romeus did the same thing, right? He had just one fight after he was on the Contender Series. I don't know if you were aware of that, but
Yeah, but big difference in performances.
yeah. And I was going to say, how much did that?
When I tell you, you got to go out and get some more experience, and you come back and you look shittier than you did the first time, apparently you didn't get enough experience. He's a young guy. He's 25 years old. He should have fought 3 or 4 times in between, then and now. Listen, there's a lot of guys out there that are 8 and 9 and 0, and we can't fill spots with guys that don't look like they could compete here. I'll tell you this right now. You take him in and bring him into the UFC, he gets absolutely destroyed by guys who can stop his takedown and strike better than the Australian kid tonight.
And how much did you like? You mentioned Romeus's athleticism. Him being 30 years old, was that a concern at all? Did that weigh on your mind? Again, he's not a guy that's got a long time left, right? So you.
Yeah, well, we had a couple of those tonight. I'm never looking for 30-year-old contenders, but when you see these guys that have, that type of ability, it's almost like the now or never. Listen, we brought them here. We gave them the opportunity. They deliver. See what they can do. I can't remember what you guys probably know better than me. Cormier, when he first, started, he started late, and look at what he accomplished. So who knows?
Exactly. And I wanted to ask you about the heavyweight. I mean, he opened with that front kick, and I thought he was going to put his opponent through the cage. I mean, he hit him so hard in there. And he just looked like, he had that assurance about him throughout the fight, like, I'm going to finish this fight. And there seemed to be no doubt in his mind that that's what he was going to do. Is that attitude sort of, kind of what you're looking for and what you're talking about up there?
No, it's funny you say that because we were talking about it. He seemed kind of nonchalant in there, like, all right, yeah. It was never like I'm going to finish this fight as fast as possible. I agree with you 100%. There was no doubt in his mind that fight was going to end. It was just a matter of when. He was very patient, and but when you hear his interview, he's he's not Captain Excitement, so you know what I mean. It's not like this guy's has that type of energy level, but you can tell he's a bad dude.
Could I ask you 2 other Merab's cut? What do you know about Merab's cut? And can you make any?
The whole world knows about Merab's cut. He posted it. Our guys are so dumb. It's next level, unbelievable. It's all the stuff that I talk about boxing. What I will give boxing is when something happens in a camp, man. Let me tell you what, it does not leak. Our guys can't fucking wait to throw it up on social media. It's a small cut. It's no big deal, but obviously needed to be posted.
Against a guy like O'Malley, who's a sharpshooter and who's a very accurate puncher, now all of a sudden there's a big target for him.
And why the fuck would you want him to know that? Yeah. It is next level stupid. Some of these guys are so stupid, it's mind-boggling. It's unbelievable.
The last thing I wanted to ask you was, Adesanya's comments last week. I thought he made a good point where, you know, in the whatever show it was, the thing about Francis was kind of washed out. You know, he wouldn't mention Francis's name. And he brought that up, you know, and said he thought you can't whitewash history and that, you know, whatnot. And that seemed to be a good point. Why did you scrub Francis out of the video and that?
I don't know about this. Do you? Do
Yeah,
you,
there was
Lene? Do you know about this? What, yeah. None
So
of us.
Adesanya talked. There was I think I'm not sure which one of the shows it was, but there was one of the shows, and there was a thing, and Francis came on the screen, and his name got scrubbed out. Right? They didn't say his name, so you couldn't hear it, as if like he wasn't part of the UFC, as if he wasn't part of the history.
And it was something that we produced?
Correct. And then Israel at the press conference before the fight actually talked about it, and you know, and he had commented on that, and I was just kind
So are you sure that we produced this?
Yes. Yes.
So what show was it on?
I can't remember. There were so many of them, but I don't remember which one it was. But for sure, it was on last week. It was a show that you produced, and he then
embedded or
he
something.
Even it might have been embedded. He made the comment. He said the UFC are good people. I know that they're going to eventually do the right thing. But he was critical of the UFC for scrubbing Francis out. And
Well, I don't disagree with that. But literally everybody who's sitting in here right now, including our head of PR, doesn't know about it. And when did Israel say it? Post-fight?
At the pre-fight press conference.
Pre-fight. Yeah, I wasn't there. Lene wasn't
I'll
there.
find
Were
it
you
on
there,
social.
Chris? Chris wasn't there. Well, we'll find out what happened, and I'll have Lene call you and tell you what the deal is with that. Because if that's true and that was done and it was something that we produced, then somebody in the company made that decision. That definitely. Listen, you know me. If I said we did it, I'd say, yeah, fuck him, and this is why we did it. I know nothing about it. Nobody ever asked me about it, and this is the first we're hearing about it. Or I would tell you
So I'm just reading this, a CBS Sports story. It says, Adesanya reinforced Ngannou's significance to the UFC amid cases where the promotion appeared to scrub mention of the former heavyweight champion. You can never erase Francis's history from the UFC, Adesanya told ESPN while looking straight into the camera ahead of UFC 305 in Perth. So I'm not sure, it doesn't say exactly. There's a video below that also shows Israel talking, but it doesn't talk exactly what video it was he was referencing.
right. So when we find out, she'll let you know.
Speaking of UFC 305, we haven't heard what your thoughts are yet on the main event. I'm just curious what you thought of it.
I'm sorry, say that again?
What you thought of the UFC 305 main event.
It was awesome. I mean, I was in New York and we were watching it, and we were going crazy during the fight. It was a great fight by both guys. I mean, both guys put on a, you know, I thought that Israel looked incredible. Dreykus is so awkward and unorthodox. He's got to be the toughest guy to train for. He fights like a white guy dances. It's so crazy and awkward, and you know what I mean. It's but very effective.
What do you see next for Izzy?
That's up to him. I mean, I'm sure he's going to take some time and reflect. Obviously, he decided not to retire that night, so I don't know. We'll see what's next.
I know last week I asked you about Connor. You said not this year. He kind of went crazy. What's the update now since you've talked to him?
There's no update from the last time he talked to me.
Are you going to get a bunch of texts again today?
Probably.
Kayla Harrison mentioned that she wanted to be the backup for the title fight. I'm just curious if that's an option.
Yeah, we're working on all that stuff right now.
You guys recently announced the fight, the Crazy Hawaiian and Dumpling for Power Slap. I'm just curious how that fight came about and why you chose to have it in Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi's coming up. Dumpling looked incredible. Crazy Hawaiian's the champion, and that was the place to make it.
John Jones has also talked a little bit about, or hinted about potentially retiring after Stipe. I know that's something people have talked about. If he does decide to retire, will it be worth the wait that we've waited so long for that fight for him to just retire after, or do you feel confident that he'll probably defend?
Yeah, you know, John is one of those, you know, challenging guys to deal with, and I think that, you know, he's talking about retiring, but will he, if the Aspinall thing is really flying out there? I personally think John challenges himself and takes the fight. And yeah, I think he does it.
One last question. Was there any worry about signing the heavyweight tonight just because of his past history with USADA?
No.
Thank you.
Yep.
And over here, trying to bring it back to Torres Finney real quick. Let's say he does go out there and get the 3-4 fights you told him to do, and maybe he wins them. Is that a situation where you want to bring him back and see him in person here at the Contender Series, or do you kind of evaluate that, and depending on how he looks, you just straight up sign him if he does do that?
Yeah, I think that if he goes out and gets those fights, looks good, you know, you can't fight one time a year and come here with that much muscle and think that you're going to, you're going to have the right cardio, you're going to have the right performance. Go get some experience. You're 25 years old. You're young. You're not even in your prime for fighting for a couple more years. And the guy's got nothing but time. Does he really want this? Is this what he really wants to do for the rest of his life? That's up to him. He's got to go out and figure that out. And the answer to your question is, no, we probably bring him right in.
Sure. And another one of the UFC's main talent fund, The Ultimate Fighter, it's wrapping up tonight. Finals are this Saturday. So what was your overall thoughts of this season between Grasso, Shevchenko, and what can we expect for the future of the show?
What was my thoughts on what?
Overall thoughts on the season of The Ultimate Fighter this year, since it's wrapping up this week.
Oh, yeah. No, it was a good season. Yeah, and you know, a couple guys in there we really like, and yeah, The Ultimate Fighter will be back again.
I was going to say, where do you rank this cast amongst these previous casts? Because I saw a lot of people online really hyping up this year's cast, kind of maybe saying it stood out a bit more compared to the others.
Yeah, I agree. I did like the cast this season.
For sure. And last one for me, I saw you mentioned there, you in New York. I saw the clips online of you in New York, and you were with popular streamers Speed and Aiden Ross, where you were in the middle of them, and Speed submitted Aiden Ross. Just want to get your thoughts on that funny encounter.
My thoughts on him submitting Aiden Ross?
Yeah, I know you're...
I don't really have an opinion on it. Yeah.
For sure. Thank you.
All right.
Dana. I wanted to ask you about Cody Haddon, the Australian. You said that Sean Shelby was really hyped for this fight.
Yeah.
When Sean comes to you and hypes up this fight, what's he kind of telling you?
Sean doesn't hype up anything. Sean has turned into a disgruntled employee, and nothing in the fight business makes him happy anymore. That's why I was like, holy shit. Sean loves this fight. He literally could not stop talking about this fight. He was really excited, and then obviously he loves Billy Brand and he loves Cody. So yeah, that obviously had a lot of influence over me right from the beginning.
I wanted to ask you about the Khalil Roundtree booking against Alex Pereira. Obviously, it's a very, very fun fight on paper. With Ankalaev, I guess, being so highly ranked and him being skipped over, what was the?
He wasn't skipped over. He's got a fight coming up. Ankalaev, we're laying the fights out now. Ankalaev's got a fight lined up. Go in there, do your thing, look great. Obviously, you're next. We had to make this fight card, and as you go down the line, you start looking at it. Khalil Roundtree makes a lot of sense, and you said it yourself. No way in hell that's not a fun one.
Was it all? I mean, you see it all the time. Timing is
everything.
So was that just kind of what happened?
100%.
John Jones, going back to him, he was tweeting all today, hinting retirement. He says that.
John Jones was tweeting today saying he's going to retire. Is that what he did?
Hinting at retirement. And then he says that maybe the UFC will offer me a deal that I can't refuse to come back and fight Aspinall.
Well, there you go. There you go. Okay. You just answered your own question. That's what I think we'll do. Listen, it's always the same dealing with John. I can tell. Listen, when we were talking about Francis earlier, right? I have zero animosity toward Francis. Francis was out of my world long time ago. That guy over there and Mick are another story. It's a long story. That dude did everything he could in his power to make John Jones versus Francis. The fight did not happen, and let me tell you what, it wasn't because of John Jones. So John is a very unique individual to deal with. John Jones will fight everybody. John Jones was absolutely positive. He wanted Francis. You saw what happened with Cyril Gahn. He will tell you, like he told us, that he would do the same thing to Francis Ngannou. He wanted that fight so bad. And for anybody who thinks, I know the whole internet, oh, John Jones, he's fucking, that I'm up John Jones' ass. These are fucking facts. Facts. And since everybody has been such douchebags about this, I'm coming out with a nice little punch in the face for all you fuckers that think that John Jones isn't the greatest of all time. Dislike him, whatever your beef is with John Jones, knock yourself out. There is no way in hell that John Jones doesn't want to fight Aspinall.
So
that I guarantee you.
So with that being said, say John Jones gets past Stipe and he wants a bigger contract.
John Jones is doing John Jones right now. That's what he does. You know what I mean? That's what he does. There is nobody that we've ever dealt with that, when I tell you, is not afraid to fight anybody. It's John Jones. And I just told her, I believe John Jones Aspinall happens if he beats Stipe.
Is that something, is that like a fight that you would, try and make happen money-wise if he's asking for more money?
We'll do everything we can to make the fight happen. Listen, you're saying, would we make that fight if John Jones asked for more fun? What fights don't we make? Other than the Francis thing, what fights don't we make? And you can't make people fight. And we couldn't make Francis fight. But every other fight we've made, we've dealt with guys from like Brock Lesnar. I mean, think of the biggest stars that have ever been in the sport. We've always made the fights, Yeah.
And finally, just one quick question about this weekend. Kyle Barallo fighting Jared Cannonier, big fight for Kyle. I guess kind of, if Kyle goes out there and beats Jared Cannonier, he's number 5 in the division. And the middleweight division is really starting to kind of
heat up. I agree.
Crammed at the very top. So,
yeah, there's nothing but fun fights coming up in the middleweight division. It's like when everybody, it's like you're asking me right now, it's who knows? There's just so many possibilities in that division right now. And I always instead of talking first, I like to see how fights play out and how it all, after everybody fights, let's see what happens and we'll find out what's next.
Is South Africa on the docket? Because
100%. 100%.
You already said it was not a smart decision to share the cut, but have you thought of a replacement for that fight? Is it someone that you've been working in the last?
No.
Not because of this, but it's obviously a big fight.
No, I don't even talk like this. Don't you dare throw the jinx on me. The cost of doing this production, if we have to change anything, is fucking devastating. So, no.
Just going off that, we're just a few weeks out from the Sphere. How is the production going for that? I mean, how much of the show is laid out and how much is still being developed at this point?
Incredible. I literally, before I flew to New York last week, we had a run through in the Sphere at 3 o'clock in the morning. We were there from 3 to 7 doing rehearsals and running through the whole thing. It's incredible.
I know in the past I've seen a live band there use drones in a show. Has anybody approached you? Have you guys thought about using drones for that particular broadcast?
No.
Okay. Cool. If you decide to, just a few more dollars. Just a few more dollars.
It isn't even about the money anymore, but no, drones are not a part of the show.
Gotcha. I heard that you were on Instagram Live with Mick talking about possibility of taking Contender Series or the idea of it on the road.
I literally was sitting there and I was watching and I was looking around. I said, I wonder how this would do if we went 10 weeks on the road to 10 different cities with the Contender Series next season. And Mick and Sean both love it. So it's something that I'll kick around with the team and see what we think.
Over here, I just wondering with the Sphere. I know you guys, when there's like a big pay-per-view weekend, we see the ceremonial weigh-ins at an arena or at a big location. So for that specific weekend, can we expect like the press conference and the weigh-ins to be at the Sphere as well, or?
I don't know. She would be the one that would put all that together. So might want to talk to her later. She's the boss of that shit.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good What's up?
Well, that's what I was kind of thinking, and I almost forgot about. I know when the Severe first came out, and then MGM booked something on the same weekend. I know at first you felt there was some disrespect, but that sort of thing I imagine happens with a long relationship. Are things good with the MGM?
Yeah, it's not about them doing things the same. But they've been disrespecting us for years. This is a long-term, some long-term disrespect here, and you know, Bill Hornbuckle, who runs MGM, I appreciate the fact that he let me do this. He didn't have to let me go to the Sphere. He could have said, no, you're under contract with us and whatever. He was trying to fix the relationship because these guys that run the arena have just been, you know, so fucking bad for so long. And, you know, Bill Hornbuckle's trying to fix that relationship. Cool? Thanks, guys.